But as far as Meek Mills, Puff Daddy, whoever, none of these, all you fake hard, you.
Courtney always says North is my lesson on this planet.
What does that mean? She's your lesson.
It means that I'm supposed to learn even more patience.
Kim Kardashian didn't just leave Ye, she left him with a warning. Everyone assumed their divorce was just another celebrity split, a clean break with a prenup and a press release. Until yesterday, when sources close to Ye confirmed he's prepared to testify under oath that his ex-wife operated as a liaison for figures tied to the most protected circles of the Epstein network, with direct knowledge of transactions that went far beyond party invitations. The claim isn't coming from blind gossip or a washed-up rival. It's embedded in a 48-hour blitz of legal maneuvers, deleted social media purges, and a sudden, uncharacteristic silence from the Skims camp after 2 years of tightly controlled messaging. Court documents filed in Los Angeles on Tuesday reference a $200,000 per month child support agreement finalized the same week. The Department of Justice admitted in federal filings it has released less than 1% of the Epstein case files. Material insiders say includes multiple references to a high-profile female intermediary with direct access to both the late financier's inner circle and after-parties hosted by Sean Combs, now serving a 50-month sentence for charges his own legal team calls a setup. What doesn't track is the timing. Kim's unfollow of Combs in March, the rushed custody settlement in December, and the fact that her name appears in at least 3 redacted passages from the Ghislaine Maxwell habeas petition, according to a paralegal with access to unsealed drafts. The real problem isn't what West is saying, it's what the files will force him to prove, and who's already scrambling to make sure the wrong pages never see daylight.
Yeah, and you know, the thing about the kids at some point here, and not for the younger ones, it's at some point. For North, it's right now, right? That even if she doesn't see it, even if somehow Kim is able to keep that away from her, the kids her friends at school, they're gonna know about it, they're gonna see it. And it puts the kids in a horrible situation.
The second Ye's legal filings hit the Los Angeles courthouse on Tuesday, the narrative stopped being about a failed marriage and started looking like a strategic takedown. The documents themselves are standard divorce fare, joint custody, $200,000 per month in support, the usual division of assets. But the timing is what's setting off alarms. These papers were filed 72 hours after the Department of Justice admitted in a federal letter that it has released only 12,285 pages of the Epstein investigation files, a fraction of 1% of the total material. That letter, signed by Attorney General Pam Bondi, uses the phrase near term 3 times without defining it, a level of vagueness former prosecutors call unprecedented for a case this closely watched. What's being said privately is that the delay isn't about protecting victims, it's about giving certain individuals time to prepare their defenses, and Kim Kardashian's name is reportedly one of those being shielded. The first sign this wasn't just another celebrity split came when insiders noticed Ye's legal team didn't just file for custody, they filed for the right to depose witnesses connected to Kim's business dealings between 2019 and 2024, a period overlapping with some of Sean Combs' most infamous gatherings in the final active years of Epstein's operations. The motion doesn't name Combs directly, but it references third-party associates with known ties to figures under federal investigation. Language, analysts say, is deliberately broad enough to pull in anyone from Combs' inner circle to Skims executives facing their own financial questions. What's more revealing is what happened next. Within hours of the filing, Kim's social media team began systematically deleting 7 years of archived posts, including every image of her with Combs, every reference to their mutual friends, and most tellingly, a 2014 Instagram post from Khloe Kardashian captioned, "Nothing like a Diddy party." With Kim positioned front and center, the deletion wasn't just thorough, it was frantic, the kind of digital scrub crisis managers reserve for situations where legal exposure is real and immediate. Here's where the story bends. If this were just another high-profile divorce, the playbook would be predictable. Controlled statements, carefully leaked details, and a slow news cycle designed to let the public lose interest. Instead, Kim's team has gone completely silent, while Ye's legal moves keep escalating, each filing more aggressive than the last. The latest, obtained by sources late Wednesday, includes a footnote referencing a sealed deposition from a former Skims employee who claims Kim was present during discussions about financial arrangements involving individuals later named in Epstein litigation. The employee's identity is redacted, but their job title, Director of Special Projects, matches the role held by Marcus Chen, who left the company abruptly in 2022 and has since refused all comments. Meanwhile, the Department of Justice's own filings admit they're sitting on over 2 million pages of unreleased material, including what they vaguely describe as multimedia evidence from Epstein's properties. The question mainstream media isn't asking is why Kim Kardashian's name keeps appearing in the margins of documents supposedly about entirely different people.
I'm sorry that the Bureau of Prisons gets to decide. The Bureau of Prisons is run independently from the FBI, from the U.S. Attorney's Office, from the judiciary, and who knows where the person's going to go. That's just how it happens.
Right.
So for Ghislaine Maxwell to have been transferred to actually a prison that has very, very minimal security and is just not fit for someone who's been convicted of horrible crimes against children.
The financial details are what make this look like more than just a messy breakup. Ye's $200,000 per month support payment isn't just a number, it's a signal. Industry sources note the amount matches almost exactly the retainer fees paid to crisis management teams at Latham & Watkins, the firm that represented Leon Black during his $75 million settlement with the U.S. Virgin Islands over his ties to Epstein. Black, like Combs, was never criminally charged, but civil filings describe him as a frequent participant in activities prosecutors called financially and socially intertwined with Epstein's operations. Kim's legal team insists the support figure is based on standard calculations for their children's lifestyle, but private investigators working for West Side reportedly uncovered emails from 2021 where her financial advisors referred to the amount as the insurance policy. That's the same year Combs threw his infamous white party in the Hamptons, where Kim was photographed arriving with a group that included Joshua Kushner, Jared's brother, and a man Forbes later described as having a history of unconventional financial partnerships. Then there's the matter of the files themselves. The Department of Justice's latest update claims it's prioritizing text-based documents first, but insiders at the Southern District of New York say the real holdup is multimedia evidence, specifically video footage from Epstein's properties that sources describe as compromising for multiple high-profile individuals. The FBI's original inventory lists over 300 gigabytes of digital media, including security camera feeds from the New York mansion and Little St. James Island. While most of the footage is believed to involve victims, former agents say segments were flagged as VIP interactions, a category that allegedly includes recordings of after-parties where powerful figures mingled with individuals tied to Epstein's network. Kim Kardashian's name hasn't been publicly linked to any of these files, but her sudden social media purge suggests she knows exactly what's in them, and more importantly, who else might be watching. What's happening right now isn't just a divorce. It's a high-stakes negotiation where the real currency isn't money, it's silence. Ye's legal maneuvers aren't just about custody. They're about forcing Kim's hand before the Department of Justice's next document dump, which insiders say could come as early as next week. The fact that her team is deleting posts from as far back as 2014, long before her marriage to Ye fell apart, suggests this isn't about protecting her current image. It's about erasing a paper trail before someone else can weaponize it. And the one detail no one's talking about, the timing of Kim's reported brain aneurysm diagnosis in late 2025, which doctors attributed to stress. But what kind of stress causes a woman in her prime to suddenly develop a condition like that right as the first batch of Epstein files was supposed to drop?
It matters to us and you. It doesn't matter what the internet says. It matters what we think. Yay.
So what do you think? Did you have an effect on my mental health?
Yes. 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 I'm saying yes. And I love you. I love you. I don't want you to be not perfect. I love you. And I want my daughter to love you the way you want her to love you.
The most damning part of this situation might be what's missing from the filings entirely. While Ye's motions reference third-party associates, they never once mention Jeffrey Epstein by name. Legal experts say this is how you lay the groundwork for a defamation-proof argument. You don't accuse directly, you force the other side to deny connections they've never had to acknowledge before. And Kim Kardashian's team isn't denying anything. They're just deleting. The question is no longer whether there's a connection between Kim, Combs, and the Epstein network. It's how deep it goes, who else was involved, and what happens when the Department of Justice finally runs out of excuses to keep those files locked away. But there's one thing that doesn't fit the usual celebrity scandal playbook. If Kim were just another peripheral name, her team would be fighting back publicly, using the same crisis strategies every other star uses. Instead, they're acting like they're waiting for something worse to drop. And that's when it clicks. This isn't about what Ye knows. It's about what he's been told to stay quiet about, and what happens when he stops listening. The $200,000 per month isn't hush money, it's a down payment on something much bigger. The real bill comes due when those files go public, and if the Department of Justice's own letters are any indication, that moment is coming faster than anyone is prepared for. What's becoming clear is that Kim Kardashian didn't just marry into Ye's world, she married into a system, and systems have rules. The first is that you don't talk about what happens at the parties. The second is that when the files start dropping, you make sure your name isn't the one that sticks. The third, that's the one Ye is about to break wide open.
And I mean, just the funny part about this is that when you're that rich, you just do what you do. And this time, the police came and they kind of schooled him, which I think is really interesting. It doesn't matter that it's Jeff Bezos.
Right.
But, by the way, we should say, it was thrown by Chris's daughters.
Yes. The most telling part is how suddenly Ye is willing to testify under oath after years of erratic behavior. That doesn't look like anger. It looks like leverage. He's been given something to trade, and if the Department of Justice really is sitting on 2 million pages of evidence, the question isn't whether Kim Kardashian's name appears in them. It's how many times, in how many different contexts, and what she was doing in those rooms when no one was supposed to be watching. The divorce filings were just the opening move in a much larger game. The real fight begins when those files hit the public, and if the panicked deletions and sudden silence are any indication, Kim's team knows exactly what's coming. The only question left is whether the public is ready to see it, or whether the system that's protected these secrets for decades will find a way to bury them one last time. The deeper you dig into Kim Kardashian's digital purge and Ye's legal offensive, the clearer it becomes this isn't about a marriage ending. It's about a system protecting itself. The real story isn't in the divorce papers or the $200,000 per month support payments. It's in the patterns that emerge when you line up the moments her name surfaces near scandals that were supposed to stay buried. Take her unfollow of Sean Combs in March last year, just days before federal agents raided his properties in Los Angeles and Miami. At the time, it looked like routine celebrity distancing, until you remember Khloe Kardashian's 2014 Instagram caption, "Nothing like a Diddy party." Kim was in the frame, smiling alongside a group that included Joshua Kushner, a man whose family has documented financial entanglements with figures tied to Epstein's circle. That post stayed up for 8 years before disappearing in a 72-hour window that coincided with Ye's first legal volley. That's not coincidence. That's damage control with a timestamp.
They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Not you, man.
But they can't control me. You
Not
see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name. It's up.
What makes this situation different from every other celebrity scandal is how the pieces refuse to stay in their lanes. Ye's accusations aren't coming from a personal vendetta. They're coming from someone who spent years hinting at the private arrangements that keep powerful people protected. His 2015 essay denying Illuminati ties wasn't just a rant, it was a tell. If there were actually an Illuminati, it would be more like energy companies, he wrote, adding, not celebrities who give their lives to music and get used as decoys for people who really run the world. At the time, it sounded like paranoia. Now, with the Department of Justice sitting on 2 million pages of Epstein-related material and Ghislaine Maxwell's legal team naming 25 protected co-conspirators in her latest appeal, it sounds like an insider admitting he knows how the game works. The fact that Ye's current legal strategy mirrors the approach taken by Leon Black during his $75 million settlement, where the goal wasn't to win, but to force the other side to reveal what they're hiding, suggests this isn't about custody. It's about leverage. The most revealing detail might be what's happening behind the scenes while the public focuses on divorce drama. Sources in the Southern District of New York say the Department of Justice's next document release is expected to include a subset of the 300 gigabytes of multimedia evidence seized from Epstein's properties, material former agents describe as career-ending. While officials claim the delay is about protecting victims, the most damaging files aren't the ones showing crimes. They're the ones showing complicity. Powerful people laughing, toasting, and making deals in rooms they later claimed they never entered. Kim Kardashian's social media purge wasn't just about Combs. It was about every photo, every tag, every digital breadcrumb that could place her in those rooms. The fact her team prioritized deleting a 2014 post, long before her marriage to Ye unraveled, suggests the real exposure isn't personal, it's professional.
There was an insane party in Los Angeles, in Beverly Hills, on Saturday night. And in terms of net wealth, 3 people alone made it $1 trillion party. This was Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party, and it was held at the home of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez in Beverly Hills.
This is where the story stops being about Kim Kardashian and Kanye West and starts being about the machinery that keeps these secrets buried. The same system that allowed Leon Black to walk away with a check, that let Ghislaine Maxwell's legal team argue her 50-month sentence was un-American, and that's currently letting the Department of Justice claim they need more time to redact files that were supposed to be public by December. The patterns are too consistent to be coincidental. When West's team filed for the right to depose witnesses connected to Kim's business dealings between 2019 and 2024, they weren't just digging into her finances. They were targeting the years when Skims expanded its offshore operations, when her connections to Diddy's inner circle were most visible, and when Epstein's network was still actively protecting its most valuable players. The fact that Marcus Chen, the former director of special projects at Skims, left the company abruptly in 2022 and has since refused to comment isn't just a loose end. It's a missing piece of a much larger operation. The real question isn't whether Kim Kardashian was involved, it's what her involvement looked like. The brain aneurysm diagnosis in late 2025 wasn't just a health scare, it was a stress reaction that coincided with the first missed time frame for the Epstein file releases. Her doctors called it a result of pressure. But what kind of pressure causes a woman with her resources to develop a condition like that at the exact moment the Department of Justice starts missing its own timelines? The answer might be in the way her legal team isn't fighting West's accusations. They're ignoring them while scrambling to erase the digital trail. That's not how you handle a baseless attack. That's how you handle a credible threat. And if the files are as comprehensive as former agents claim, the threat isn't just to Kim's reputation, it's to the entire infrastructure that's kept these arrangements quiet for decades.
You think about if Harley was part of intelligence, right? What kind of people you think are surrounding my kids? What kind of people you think are in that house?
What's becoming undeniable is that Kim Kardashian's role in this isn't just as a bystander or a victim of circumstance. The way her name keeps appearing in the margins of documents related to Epstein of operations, the timing of her social media purchase, and the fact that her legal team's strategy mirrors the crisis management playbook used by Leon Black and Leslie Wexner all point to the same conclusion. She wasn't just at the parties, she was part of the system that made them possible. And systems like that don't let people walk away clean. The $200,000 per month isn't just child support, it's the cost of staying inside the protection racket. The real bill comes due when the files drop. And if the Department of Justice's behavior is any indication, that moment is coming whether they're ready or not. The final piece of this puzzle might be the one no one's talking about, the fact that West's legal filings never mention Epstein by name. That's not an oversight, it's a strategy. By forcing Kim's team to respond to vague accusations about third-party associates and financial arrangements, he's not just building a case, he's forcing her to deny connections that have never been publicly acknowledged. And the fact that her side isn't denying anything is the most damning detail of all. They're not fighting the allegations because they can't, not without exposing the larger operation. The divorce isn't the end of the story. It's the first public crack in a system that spent years making sure no one ever had to answer for what happened in those rooms. The files are coming, the appeals are pending, and West's not done talking. The question now isn't whether Kim Kardashian was involved, it's how far up the chain her involvement goes, and what happens to the people who spent decades making sure these secrets never saw the light of day.
It's just he's Kanye West, so it's like relentless. I was like, yeah, popcorn.
So here's where we leave it to you. Does music's sudden social media purge look like damage control? Or is it the move of someone who knows exactly what's in those files and who's already in them? When West's legal team files for the right to depose witnesses connected to her business dealings during the same years Diddy was hosting his most exclusive gatherings, is that a coincidence? Or is it the first step in pulling back the curtain on how these arrangements really worked? And if the Department of Justice is sitting on 2 million pages of evidence, why does it feel like they're more afraid of what's in there than the public is? Drop your thoughts below, because this story isn't over. It's just getting started. And trust us, you're going to want to stick around for what comes next.